F1 isn't just about fast cars and thrilling races. It's a journey of purpose, resilience, and finding your true calling. In today's video, we're diving deep into the story of Sonny Hayes, Brad Pitt's character, who teaches us that sometimes you have to drown out the noise to find out what truly drives you. So we're going to explore how a once promising racer sidelined by tragedy found his way back to the track. Not for fame though, but for the love of the race. The movie opens up with Sonny Hayes, played by Brad Pitt, tearing up the track at Daytona, and he's not there for the glory though. You quickly realize that Sonny's a bit of a nomad. He bounces from race to race, often without any fanfare or fortune. The big question everyone keeps asking him though is, why do you do this? And that's where it gets interesting. Years ago, Sonny was on track to become an F1 legend until a devastating accident nearly ended his career. Instead of giving up, he chose to keep racing, away from the spotlight, simply for the love of it. That humility and passion are what define him now. And it's a powerful reminder of how sometimes we have to lose everything to find our true purpose. And that's where the deeper meaning comes in. In life, and especially in our faith, we often have to drown out the noise of the world to hear what really matters. In just a moment, Austin's going to break down how this theme ties into some powerful scriptures and what we can learn from Sonny's journey.
It's just noise. That's the prevailing theme in F1. And you know what, Ty? One of the things that stuck out to me the most was that scene where Sonny Hayes said to Joshua Pearce, "It's just noise, man." And that's when they were trying to decide who was going to race that final race. And Joshua was just looking at his phone, trying to figure out what people were saying about him. And Sonny was just like, man, why are you even looking at that? And it was such a gut punch because, I mean, how many of us out there are on our phones constantly, looking at what people are saying about us, about the world, about things that we love. And we're so focused on what people think that we're willing to fight about it, willing to take it to heart, willing to make decisions based off of it. And a lot of times it bogs us down up here to where we don't even actually do anything. We get paralyzed with fear, with lies. And you know, we've been doing this series called Don't Believe the Lie. There's so many movies out there. Movies speak to us. That's why we love movies. This is why we do this channel. We love the themes that are in these movies, not just entertainment. Don't listen to the noise is the thing that I think can speak to us as a culture. We tend to seek underdog stories like F1 because we see somebody who is doing something where they're pursuing their dreams and they're not listening to what people have to say. And Brad Pitt's character, Sonny Hayes, he had unexpected tragedy where he just got to the point where he was like, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to pursue this, even if they think I'm old, even if they think I'm washed up, they think I can't do it. And what did he do? He proved them wrong. And in turn, he brought a younger kid to a place to where he would realize he had to humble himself to be able to pursue his dreams as well. We're not shy about our faith here on Fandom Fix. The Bible has so many truths about how we can live our lives. And one of the things here about just humbling ourselves, Sonny and Joshua both had to learn how to humble themselves without trying to pursue fame and fortune. In 1 Peter 5:5, it says, likewise, you who are younger, be subject to the elders. Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another, for God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. And we see in this movie, Joshua Pearce, he thought Sonny was just an old man. He kept on saying, you're well beyond your years. You're decades older than me. You're an old man. And even his mom was like, dude, he's not even that old. And he just saw him as somebody who couldn't teach him anything. This truth shows us that we have to listen to those who are wiser than us, who have lived life experience. When Joshua finally did that, he was able to actually work as a team, able to actually learn something and get beyond his pride. Stop going to parties, stop listening to the noise. And they were able to actually win that thing together, which is super cool. Ty, what do you think about just this whole idea of drowning out the noise, thinking about things that are true and not listening to what people have to say?
Yeah, Austin, you make some really incredible points. I love the fact that, you know, we talked during the movie and we said, who's going to win this final race?
Yeah.
And you guessed that it was going to be JP.
Yeah.
I guessed that it was going to be Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
And it ended up being Sonny Gray, which a lot of us thought when he said, go win that race, kid, that he was going to go win it. And then they got in a little wreck. And then next thing you know, Brad Pitt's character, Sonny Gray, he's flying. They're like, what is he doing? He's flying. And he got that moment where all the noise is drowned out. And it really made me think about, you know, I used to play baseball. I played college baseball, and baseball was an idol in my life. It became something that I put before my relationship with Christ, my relationship with other people. My happiness was contingent on whether or not baseball was going well.
Yeah.
And I equate that a lot to these racers. When things are going well, they're great. when they get in wrecks and they lose races, it's not great. And JP, all he cared about was who was saying what about him, what were the tabloids saying, what was Instagram saying, what was Facebook saying, what's TikTok saying, what's Twitter saying, and he wasn't able to drown out the noise. I felt that because there's a lot of times where I haven't been able to drown out the noise. And there's some times where people have called me a terrible father and horrific things that you'd never imagine someone would say. We got keyboard warriors and they'll just take out their anger because they're hurting. But they'll take out their anger on you and then you take it personal. And then you start fearing everything. You fear rejection. You fear loss. You fear failure. And like you said, fear paralyzes. What I love is the fact that he was able to humble himself. And at the end of the movie, he was actually happy for Sonny for winning. And Sonny had drowned out everything. All it was just him and that track. And he was fixated on the prize ahead.
And I love what they said when he was doing that, because as a viewer, you're just seeing no noise. You're just seeing him driving, flying down that road. And Carrie Condon's character and the other people that were in the pit crew, they were like, what is he doing? And he said he's flying. It was just a moment of success of realizing that, like, because he drowned out the noise, because he humbled himself before this thing he loved, he was just worried about what he could do. He was flying, he was succeeding, he was coasting. That's what was so great about Joshua Pearce's character too. You saw that moment in the movie where his manager was like, you gotta make this media hit, you gotta, respond to this social media thing, you gotta show up to this planned, sponsorship, that type of thing. And he was like, nah man, I don't need you today. And that was the moment in the movie where you realize he started changing, because he was like, oh wait, I'm actually listening to Sonny. I'm actually drowning out that noise. And Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to the patterns of the behaviors of this world, but let your mind be renewed by the Spirit, so you know what is good, pleasing, and perfect. Which is saying, like, Joshua was like, hey, I'm not worried about what the world's saying, what I have to do as a racer. I'm just gonna be focused on getting my mind right so I can win this, so I can do what the team needs the best, not what I need the best.
Another thing that came full circle is the whole entire time, once Sonny Gray joined that F1 club, he was trying to help Jonathan win the race.
Yeah.
He was never trying to win the race himself. He was always trying to help his partner.
Yeah.
And what was beautiful is that he ended up getting exalted to win the race. Our pastor talks about the fact that he's in the place that he's in ministry now. He never asked for it. And Sonny didn't ask for the spotlight, but he was thrust into the spotlight almost in spite of himself. We need more people like that in real life that don't want to make it about them. They want to make it's bigger than themselves. And he knew that it was bigger than just him. Yep. He was doing it for the love of the game, for the love of the sport. It gave me chill bumps when he was racing. He couldn't hear anything, because there was times where in another movie, For the Love of the Game, he says, clear the mechanism. And literally, he just, everything goes silent. And all it is him, that catcher, and that batter. And he's going to go after that guy. Yeah. And he even talks about in the races, it says, we're going to go to war.
Yeah. And
whether you realize it or not, we go to war every day spiritually. And so there's so many spiritual parallels that we couldn't help but dive into this.
Yeah.
And so you have to destroy those thoughts, those lies, because the enemy is trying to destroy you. Just like those race car drivers were trying to destroy them on the track. They were trying to dominate them.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the master of lies, Satan himself. He's trying to destroy us. He's trying to devour us. And we have to take those thoughts captive, destroy them, and renew our minds daily.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people out there, we're all online constantly. We're all trying to pursue our goals and our dreams and those kind of things. People that are watching that, they actually, like your friends and your family, they care, they love you, that kind of thing. Most people out there, they don't care if you're going to succeed. They care about, watching you fail, making their opinions about stuff. And people that are in these, high intensity sports like F1, they're being watched, and there's a lot of pressure on them. And so for a movie like this that is so reminiscent of classic movies, and we were saying how much we love these type of movies, they don't make underdog stories like this anymore. Back in the 80s and the 90s, we saw things like Rocky, movies like that built us up, that made us believe that we can achieve things. We all need, but especially the younger generations.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let us know in the comments what you thought. Do you agree, disagree? Did you love F1? Is this another classic hit like Top Gun Maverick, like the Rockies of old? Let us know Until next time, we are Fandom Fix, signing off.
See ya.